The following program is brought to you by Whiteman TV,
Good evening, and welcome to the Minto Chamber of Commerce Candidates Night. I'm John Burgess, and past president of the Minto Chamber of Commerce. I will be the moderator tonight. I would like to call upon President John Cox to bring greetings from the Minto Chamber. John? There he is.
Just like to welcome everybody, and great to see great turnout. Shows interest in our community. And just want to congratulate all the delegates. We're all here to look what they're going to do first for the next 4 days.
Perfect.
That's all to that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Okay, before we get started with the presentations, there's a bit of housekeeping I'd like to get out of the way. There will be no questions during the presentations. Afterwards, when everybody has finished, there will be lots of time for one-on-one meet and greet. There'll be something, coffee and things to eat afterwards. And you can ask all your questions or whatever you want with any of them at that time. The order of the speakers was determined by a random draw. All candidates will have 5 minutes to speak, except for the two candidates running for mayor, and they'll have 7 minutes each. They'll be timed, and Summer, who is the Chamber of Commerce Business Development Coordinator, will be doing the timing. And at 1 minute to go in the speech, a red card will be held up for the speaker. And at the end of the time, an alarm will go off, a big alarm. There it is, there's our alarm, okay? Now, we have two positions at this election that are acclaimed. So we're going to have them come forward and speak first. So if I could call upon County Councillor, Wellington Ward 1, David Anderson.
Thanks, John. It's great to be here tonight. It's great to have all these people here, and thank you for the Chamber of Commerce putting on this event. It's a great opportunity to have a chance to get to know the candidates. I'm looking forward to this night as much as you people are. You know, I was elected almost 20 years ago in the old town of Palmerston, and I've been around for, I think, about 5 different mayors, and I was sort of different because I was one of those different mayors too, and Jean keeps telling me I'm different, but I keep challenging her on that. But you know what I found over these 20 years? I've seen a very positive growing of the town of Minto and of Harrison and of all the other 4 communities that are involved in the town of Minto. Every council was very progressive, innovative, and wanted to move forward. So they kept building this block of foundation of expanding services, expanding different functions for the town to get involved in. And over all those years, we have what we have now, which is a pretty incredible town. And the neat thing about this talk tonight is this is a non-political talk because I don't have to do politics at all. This is coming from my heart about this town. We have traveled, Jean and I, and through even at County Council and town of Minto, through a lot of municipalities in the town of in Ontario and other provinces. I have not yet found a town to match what we have in our community. Every town I talk to and look into and talk to their councillors, they're up to 5 to 10 years behind us. So economically, industrially, and the thing about it is we just want to keep growing and getting a better community. We're not willing to sit still and let things be bygones. And that's what makes our community great. So as citizens, we should all be proud of living in our community and moving forward with that. I'd like to also at this time thank a couple of the past councillors, Deputy Mayor Ron Faulkner, and also Councillor Mary Lou Caldwell, who are not running this term. I'd also like to recognize also Bruce Sheik, who was our district school board director, trustee. Anybody that runs for council is making a commitment to the town to make a better community. And these three individuals have done their part, and I would like to wish them all the best and thank them for their participation in making this town what it is today. I would like to also thank the community basically for giving me an opportunity to represent you again through Ward 1, Town of Minto at County Council. Last term, I promised to basically try to improve communications between the county and the town in many ways, and just giving the citizens a better understanding of what the county does for the town. I sat in on most of the council meetings, were the evening meetings, as a not a non-participant, but just as in the audience. I try to give quarterly reports to the town on different issues, what the county offered, and highlights what the county was doing for the town under policing services, our library systems, our museums, the landfill sites, and through our social services program, under the Seniors Daycare Center, our daycare center, affordable housing. And I'm really looking forward to continue serving you as part of the town of Minto at the county for the next 4 years. And you know what, we're only as good as you are. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, any ideas, please contact me. Anything to do with the County of Wellington. My email address is david@wellington.ca, or you can call me on my cell phone at 226-750-0782. Again, I wish all the candidates all the best, and I look forward to this night. Thank you.
Thank you, David. One small thing, when speakers are coming up, down at the far end here, there is a step to help you get up on stage. And if you just come through behind the chairs to speak and back, then we won't be having problems with people falling off here, which would not be good. The next speaker I'd like to call upon is Mr. David Turton. He has been acclaimed as Minto Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Chairman John. Fellow candidates, ladies and gentlemen, I as well would like to thank the Chamber this evening for putting this on, and I would also like to thank everybody for coming out. My name is Dave Turton, and I was born on a farm in Minto Township. Second youngest son of 10 kids. I met my sweetheart in Harriston in 1978. We got married. We've been married for 40 years. We live on George Street 3 times. 3 different houses. So we have 3 adult children. All live within an hour of Minto. They all went to university and they all work in the field that they went to school for. It's quite amazing. We have 5 wonderful grandchildren, and again, they're all within the hour, so that this is really good. I still work full-time at Rosse. I manage engineering and projects, and I celebrated my 30th anniversary last week. For the last 4 years, I've been Chairman of Public Works. I've been on the Parks and Recreation Committee. I've sat on Drinking Water Quality Standards, and I'm also First Vice President of the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority. Happy to report that the floodplain mapping of Harriston is complete, and we've had quite a number of visits to the Maitland Valley Conservation with local farmers and local people, and there's some really good ideas on going forward with source water protection. 15 years ago, I stood here and was a first-year counselor, and it was pretty daunting, still daunting tonight, but I do have 15 years of experience. I understand things a little bit better. And I agree with Dave. You do this for the love of your community. Our counselors seem to always get along. It's a kind of a unique group. Some of the highlights for me over the last number of years is our economic development. Our industrial parks are all filling up. Our residential, we've got new housing in all 4 of our communities. Our farmers are building like crazy, and it's a wonderful thing, the development, the capital that we're spending on infrastructure, with the grants that we've been receiving from the provincial governments and the feds has been really good. I do support our fire service, our hospitals, our doctor recruitment, our Amish community when I can. Our volunteers are wonderful in this community. I support our service groups and downtown revitalization committees, our business owners, our Norgan theaters, our parks, our trails. It's great, and I support them all. So in closing, it's been a privilege and an honor to be part of the Minto Council for the last 15 years, and as Deputy Mayor, I promise you that I will represent you, and I also want to say congratulations to everybody here, all of our candidates, and good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. If I could have the 3 candidates for the school board trustee come up to the stage, please. Let's take the N3 here. Okay, the first to speak will be Rob Unsworth.
Thank you. When I was standing at the back of the room, this mic is giving quite a woo feedback, so I'm going to stand away from it a little bit so people can hear me. I'm Rob Unsworth. I farm just outside of Harriston. With my wife and myself, we raise a purebred herd of cattle. Sorry. I don't do public speaking very well. I do cry once in a while when I'm public speaking, 25% of nerves and 75% because of passion. I decided to run for school board trustee when Bruce Schenck was still being there, and I didn't know he wasn't running this time, but he and I had had a phone conversation, and it didn't go quite the way it should have went. In my opinion, he was very quick to get off and not find out what my problem was with the school board. And so I had a meeting with the school board. My children are they are special needs kids, some of them. One of them is special needs big time. And so with that, I've had to advocate for 8 years, and I've learned that the school board is broke. I don't know if it's at the school level or if it's at the board level, but somewhere's in there it's broke, and we need to fix it. And so that is why I decided that I was going to run. Since I've decided to run, I've been talking to a lot of parents, and things that weren't on my radar that are on their radar, I'm hearing it lots and lots and lots. So I'm here, I'm wanting to run. I want to listen to what issues are for parents, and I want to fix it with the parents and with the school. It's not that I'm out to bash the school. I think we've got some of the best teachers in the world at Minto Clifford Public School. That's where my kids go to school. They're in grade 7 and grade 6. And Dave Turton, your daughter, is one of the teachers there, and she is great. She's not there this year because she's on maternity leave, but other than that, like they're great teachers. I've been on school trips and heard what teachers are told by students, and you're not a teacher because of the money. You're a teacher because you love being a teacher. And so it's not that I'm here to bash the teachers. I'm here to try to go to the school board to make a difference. I also believe that agriculture needs to get back in the classroom, and technology, the trades. The trades and agriculture need to be back into the school. It's important. And right now, if you graduate agriculture school, there's 4 jobs sitting there waiting for you. With that, I'd like you to give me your vote, and I appreciate, and good luck to everybody that's running.
Thanks, Rob. I'd like to call on Robin Ross now, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am from Tiviotdale. We have a roundabout now, so we're very metropolitan. It's the highlight of the area. I have lived on 7 Bridges, or Wellington Road 6, my entire life. Half of my life was over in North Wellington. The other half is in Minto. I have I have a son who's in grade 2 here in Palmerston. And my dad thinks it's hilarious that I'm running for school board trustee. He was trustee when I was in high school, and he got many calls about me not being at school. And now he is very surprised to find that I care about education, because he was pretty sure I didn't. The main reason that I am running is because in the past 3 years, I have tried to get information about different things from the school board, and I have found that there is a very big gap in communication. People have a terrible time getting information about resources and programs that are available, but if you can't find them, you can't use them. Some of the cases are just things about knowing what school trip protocols are. I had a cousin whose son was told he couldn't go on class trips because they couldn't find EA time to cover him throughout the day. And I said, whoa, that's not right. And if you go to the school board website and dig deep enough and long enough, the policy actually is that no child shall be left behind. It doesn't matter for financial reasons or for support reasons, every kid is entitled to go to any trip that their class is going to. But my cousin's wife didn't know that, so she thought, oh, I guess I have to keep my kid at home, because that's the information she got. It didn't take a long time to find that information, but I think what I think a trustee needs to do in our area is be almost aggressively proactive in getting information back to the schools in our area. There's 11 schools in our area. They're 118 kilometers apart. That is a huge area to try to get people's information back and forth. Other things that I have asked about is the school board has a parent involvement committee, which is mandated by the Ministry of Education to try to increase parent engagement, because it shows that the more parents are involved, the better their kids do. Doesn't matter what type of kid you have, your kid does better if you are interested in their schooling. At the same time, there is a school board policy that charges parent groups for trying to run programs in the school that increase student and parent engagement. So to me, that doesn't make sense, that you are mandated by the ministry to increase parent engagement, and at the same time, you're charging groups up to hundreds of dollars a year to do that. So things like that are the reason that I am running, and I am quite happy if somebody else can do it better than me. I would love that. I can find other things to do. But I think that at a minimum, the trustee in our area has to actively represent all 11 schools and really fight to get more information about the resources and programs that are out there for every student. I'm not asking for more money, but I'm asking that every single kid that should get into a program is in a program. And that's why I'm running. So if anybody has any questions, I have a poor, lonely board back there. It only has one question on it. I really like questions. I like to ask them, and I like to answer them. So it would make me very happy if at least one more person would put a question up there before the end of the night. Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Now I'd like to call upon Sean McLeod.
Excuse me. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. My name is Sean McLeod, and I want to be your voice at the Upper Grand District School Board. It seems to me that everything I've done in my life has led me to be the ideal candidate for trustee. I was raised in Guelph, so I can relate to the city trustees and understand their viewpoint. I've lived in North Wellington for 30 years and will bring that perspective to the board. As a parent of 2 children, I understand the importance of our education system and the trials of parents advocating to get much needed resources in place for their children so their children can have a successful, positive experience in school. The skills I have learned and the integrity that I have demonstrated over the last 22 years of running my own business will be invaluable at the board table. My time as president of the Mount Forest and District Chamber of Commerce and Wellington North Economic Development Committee has allowed me to meet and work with people in all 3 communities that I would represent. As a 16-year member of the Lions Club, I know how important volunteers are to the school. In addition to my experience, I bring a strong work ethic to the role of school board trustee. I know how important homework is, and I have taken steps to get up to speed on the issues facing the board. Here are some of what I've done so far. I have spoken to the chair of the trustees and attended a trustee meeting where I met some of the staff and the other trustees. I met with the present trustee and we talked about what my responsibilities would be. My plan is to hit the ground running once elected as your Upper Grand District School Board trustee. So when that ballot comes in the mail, and we all hope it comes in the mail, mark it Sean McLeod. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Maybe take the seats now, please. Thank you. Could I now call on the candidates for council, please, to take to the stage? I'm quite impressed. I think they're in order. To start off, could I please call Jean Anderson?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Chamber of Commerce and other delegates. Thank you all for coming out. It is kind of a wet, rainy evening out there. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jean Anderson. I'm married to David Anderson, which most people know. If they drive a vehicle around here, they do. We live just outside of Palmerston on a 5-acre piece of property with our youngest son and his wife and their baby, because they're part of that youth that have a problem with housing shortages and affordable housing in our communities. So mom steps in and dad. I'm a registered nurse by profession. I've provided health care to our local community for over 32 years. I'm currently still on leave, but hoping to get back to work shortly after having some pretty serious health issues. I began my first term on council 4 years ago because I was sitting at home and talking about what a shame it was that council was going to be acclaimed. I find that distressing in a community, in a world, in a country where we're allowed to choose who governs us, that we don't have enough interest and enthusiasm and energy to put our names forward. So my husband said, well, you always have a lot to say. Why don't you put your name forward? So I did. He says it's one of the few times I've listened to him, but I do listen to him more than that. So I joined council. I ran for council. I was elected. And since then, I have learned a tremendous amount. I had some idea of federal financing and provincial financing and its impact because of hospital work. I was a manager in a hospital for 10 years, so you knew something about transfer payments and so forth and so on. Then you get into council and you learn just what an impact the federal and the provincial structure and governments that are in power and leaving power and coming into power, how much impact they're going to have on the money that comes down to us. And we all work really hard to produce our tax dollars. We work on our property assessments. That's a process all on its own that you have to learn about. You learn about impact. I didn't know much about impact until, I knew we had an envelope from them every once in a while, but I didn't know a lot about the process. And then you learn about lot lines and lot variances and adjustments and building codes and bylaws and enforcing bylaws. So it has been an endless curve of learning for me, but I have enjoyed every minute of it. It is truly, I'm a pretty passionate person. I get involved in things. I'm a take action sort of person, and I just thoroughly enjoy being on council. The people we need to most thank when we're sitting on council, you learn as well, is the people that are working at the town office. They're the people that bring us the reports. They're the people that bring us the information. If we didn't have that information, we wouldn't know how to make those decisions. We don't have time or the knowledge, as much as we have learned, to go digging up all the information you need. You bring a problem, somebody brings a problem to you, you go to the town office, you ask about it, somebody says, well, we'll find out. And then it comes to council, and then we say, well, we need more information, so they go back and they find more information and they bring you a report with a recommendation. I cannot thank you enough. For years, I've heard David rave about the council staff. I didn't get to see them very often. I think everybody thought I knew how to run council and how council worked. I was at home taking care of the kids or at the hospital taking care of the patients. I didn't know anything about it. It is amazing the amount of work that gets done. And to that end, we have to go, and I will reiterate David's statements, we have so much to be proud of in this community. When we go to conferences, and again, that's all new to me, being the newbie on the block, you find out that we're going to presentations, and we can sit in the presentations and we're going, oh, we do that. Oh, we've got that nailed. Oh, Belinda's on top of that. And that's the honest to goodness truth. Like, you just go to those communities, we are way advanced compared to some of the other communities. We work together, our council works together, the chamber and the council work together very, very well. I can't imagine why they don't in some communities, because you have the same goal, to build a strong, vibrant community for people to live in, where they want to raise their children, where they can find jobs, where we can have affordable housing, where we have support for our seniors and services for our young families. Oh, she's giving me the flag. So we talk about streets. Towns are streets, but we dig our streets, we light our streets, we party in our streets, we beautify our streets. I sit on the Cultural Roundtable, and I sit on the Economic Development, and I'm the chair of the Horticulture Society, and we all spend time thinking, how do we make this town a more attractive, vibrant place to attract people to come and grow? How do we build the infrastructure? How do we attract the funding to build the infrastructure so that we can continue to support that growth? Our kudos again to the town staff. If I'm elected as councillor, I will endeavor to continue with those efforts. I'm a take action sort of person. When David and I saw a gap on Christmas Day, there was nowhere for people to go. In 6 weeks, we had our first dinner planned. Third one will be here on Christmas Day this year. If there's a need, I try to work to see if I can find solutions for it. If people have an issue, bring it to me. I will address it. I promise you, I will get to an answer. It might not be the answer you want to hear. They aren't all. We have all sorts of other boards we have to deal with. But I will find you an answer, and I'll explain why. 1 second. Please vote. Go out and vote. Whatever you do, vote.
Thank you, Jane. Especially since I didn't have to use my hook. Next is Ron Elliott.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the Chamber, wherever you all are, and I'd like to thank them for putting on this event tonight. It's great that we can bring forth our ideas and give you an idea of who you can vote for. It's great to see so many familiar faces. Elaine and I started out our married life in Palmerston over 50 years ago. We have 2 daughters, Rhonda and Sherry, who's sitting there, and 4 grandchildren, Jocelyn, Kaylee, Blair, and Brooklyn. Elaine wanted me to tell you that we have a cat named Vinny. That's important to her. So, I have a passion to serve and participate in our community. I have been involved as a participant, coach, and official with many minor and adult sport teams. I was a volunteer firefighter for 10 years. I am a 35-year member of the Palmerston Lions Club. I am warden of the Anglican Church. I'm a volunteer at the Northern Theatre. As your elected official, I will continue to show a commitment to our council. Over the past 2 terms, I have only missed 1 council meeting, something I'm very proud of. I do create a solid impact as your councillor. I have and would continue to be a strong voice in our community. I am presently a director with the Ontario Small Urban Municipality, OSUM. This gives our community many contacts, including a direct ear to the provincial government. I can offer the town council invaluable experience. With the resignation of our CEO, Bill White, the town can rely on this experience to help move forward with a new transition of leadership. Going forward as your town representative, I have set goals. Efficiency in recreation facilities and programs, maintain and upgrade infrastructure, including roads and bridges, retention and growth of business and industry, fiscal responsibility. I believe in the town of Minto and wish to be part of a strong council team that will help shape our community's future. I ask for your support this coming election. Vote Ron B. Elliott. B is in Elliott. Thank you. So no one else can speak?
Well, it's really hard keeping control, believe me. Okay, thanks, Ron, I think. Next up, Mark McKenzie.
Good evening. I'd also like to thank the Chamber for hosting the meeting tonight, and thank you, the audience, for attending. I'll start with a brief personal background. I was born in Palmerston, and except for 6 years of my life, I've resided in Hairston and the hamlet of Drew. Like my ancestors, my roots are here. I have a vested interest in our town as a property owner, taxpayer, and I care for our general well-being. I have a keen interest in local politics, and like some of you, a passion for preserving our local history. If elected, I will work with the new council to address ideas to minimize our annual tax increases, yet maintain the services that are offered. It can be done. As most of you know, I do have past council experience. I have 19 years with the responsibilities of a recreation facilities manager and 40 years operating my own business, training and racing standardbred horses. I know the value of a dollar. I'm concerned with the proposed 18% tax increase over the next 4 years. If elected, I offer an earnest effort to act in your best interests concerning municipal matters. I'd like to mention a few topics from my to-do list that are not on my card. One, I'd like to review the proposed 4-year budget forecast. We need to tackle the shortage of affordable housing for low-income seniors. So many are choosing to relocate elsewhere due to the lack of. And it would also encourage other seniors looking to retire in Minto if there were more housing options available. I'd like to introduce a bylaw to further protect the safety of our residents in our hamlet and rural subdivisions concerning hunting practices. This can be done locally and does not need M&R approval. To pursue these ideas and more, one needs to be on council. I ask for your support. I ask for your vote. I'm ready to get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I will now hear from Judy Dirksen.
Good evening, everyone. First, thank you to our Chamber of Commerce for hosting this evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, thank you for being here. It's really great to see this interest in our local election. And to fellow candidates, I wish you all the best in your campaign. This is an important gathering this evening, and I appreciate that all of you have taken the time to be here. I have called Minto home for my entire life. I grew up on a farm between Hairston and Mount Forest, and then I fell in love with a farmer. We have been full-time farmers for close to 40 years, and we are now happy to have a son and daughter-in-law as part of our business. Our family farm is located south of Hairston, where we raise cattle, grow crops, and provide custom farm work services in the area. My husband Dick and I have raised 3 great kids. Our sons each married wonderful gals that we are proud to call part of our family, and we have 7 beautiful grandchildren. all of them living in Minto. Our daughter Lisa lives in Alberta and is doing well. I'm also blessed to have my parents living nearby in Harriston. Volunteering is a big focus in my life. Whether in sports, church, schools, or community, I have found it very rewarding. My experiences and interests are very broad, and I'm always learning. My most recent foray into something new is being a founding and organizing member of the 100 Women Who Care, Rural Wellington, and I see some of our members in the crowd. We had a very successful inaugural meeting right here in this hall last week with most of our 116 members in attendance, and we gifted a worthy, deserving charity of over $10,000. It just gives me goosebumps thinking about that, and the neat thing is we're going to do it again in December. Minto is most definitely the place where your family belongs. Seniors are respected and appreciated. Local history and heritage are important. Local opportunities abound for our children and our youth to be involved and engaged no matter what their interests might be. We offer many programs for all of our residents, recreational, cultural, educational, and more. We have scores of hardworking volunteers who enjoy seeing their community thrive through their efforts, and where new volunteers are welcomed and appreciated. Our local volunteer fire departments are the best for miles around. The county OPP works hard to keep us safe. And we have a small but vibrant hospital right here in our town. We are blessed with beautiful trees, mostly good roads, and some of the richest farmland in Ontario. Somebody else said it, but you don't have to drive very far to find way worse roads than ours. This is the Minto that I know and love. Is everything perfect in Minto? Nope. But there are lots of great things happening, and we need to keep that momentum going. There's so many choices of what to speak about in so little time, but I've picked a couple of things. Beyond the usual business, there are a number of items that will come up in the next term, such as responding to the legalization of marijuana. What will that mean for us here in Minto? Cemeteries. There have been a number of comments about these public spaces. The draft cemetery master plan is a good starting point, but there's much more to be done. We are in need of industrial land. What will that look like? We need more housing. What will we need for our residents in the future? Recently, our CAO announced his retirement, sadly. How should staff be structured going forward? To hire or not to hire? We have homeless youth living in Minto. How can we best help them in our situation? If elected, I will welcome your thoughts on these and other issues as I have in the past. Listening and learning from you is what I do. Economic development is alive and well in Minto. The related challenge is that we need people to come and live and work here in Minto. We have the jobs. At one time, there weren't a lot of housing options for people in Minto. However, over the past few years, we have been experiencing a building boom, and there are many more options now. And people are moving to Minto and loving it. I've spoken to many families who are just blown away by the number of events and opportunities here in small town Ontario. If there's anything I've said this evening that you'd like to discuss further, please use the opportunity after the formal part of the meeting. I'm parked over there. Take a card and contact me if that's more convenient for you. It's been an honor to work for you as a Minto councillor. Thank you for your support in the past. I respectfully ask for your support on your ballot. A vote for Judy Dirksen is a vote for trusted experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy. Call on Jeff Gunson now, please.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Gunson, and I'm running for councillor for the town of Minto. I want to be a team member to shape Minto's future, and with the support of my family and the commitment to make it happen. As long as I have lived in Minto, I've been a local businessman with Eric Cox Sanitation as a service and sales consultant. After running for council in the last election, I learned from that experience and have taken the time to learn about governance and volunteered on various committees. I feel it is important to give back to your community. Some of the committees include Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, Harriston Revitalization Committee, Minto Minor Hockey Executive, Volunteer Firefighter at Harriston Department. I was also an essential part of the IPM 2016 Sponsorship Committee. I'm a steward at the Harriston United Church and a member of the Harriston Legion Branch 296. Sports is how I found my way to Minto, playing fastball for the Harriston Mercuries. Spent a lot of time in this arena here with the Palmerston 81 Senior Club, playing and then coaching. I currently have the pleasure of coaching 25 4, 5, and 6-year-olds the fundamentals of hockey. You want to talk about a challenge? That's a challenge. I'm working diligently to get out in the communities, and I've had some good conversations with residents, business owners, and real estate representatives. One concern that keeps coming up, and I've heard it more tonight, affordable housing, more importantly for seniors. We promote to bring new families to Minto to fill our job opportunities, but in exchange, we do not want to drive our seniors out of town to find affordable accommodations in other communities. One area I feel needs development, and I will endeavor to work with developers to ensure affordable rental properties are available. We do lack this type of housing. I truly believe Minto is on the right path for the future. There are so many positives happening in our community. We are doing a great job of attracting new businesses and new families, which is a result in the efforts of economic development. That being said, nothing is perfect, and like every other municipality, we also have some areas that need attention. I will commit to make sure that continues and address any areas that need attention. If elected, I promise to listen and act, as I can relate to a demographic that will mold an exciting future for Minto. I stand for open-mindedness, transparency, and accountability. I will strive to help build a Minto that my children will want and to be able to call home. In closing, after the speeches, I hope to get the chance to meet you, and please come to me and share any concerns or questions you may have. I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and the Chamber for hosting this event. I wish all the candidates good luck in the upcoming election. And remember, please vote and play your part in building tomorrow. I stand here tonight and I ask for your vote. I will be your voice. When filling out your ballot, please vote for the young guy, Jeff Gunson. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Now call on Glenn Hall.
Maybe the real question is, who's older, Jeff or I? August 74.
July.
Oh, he's got me.
75.
Oh, jeez, really got me. 10, 11 months, that's good. I want to thank everyone for putting this on tonight. It's always a good chance to be able to get to know the candidates and know the people who are interested in politics and learn about what everyone needs to move the community forward. There's a number of issues, you've heard a lot of them tonight. I wanted to take approach of just letting you get to know me if you don't already know me with the activities I've been doing in Minto. I believe in building people, businesses, volunteers, and community groups. I believe that giving people the trust and authority to do things better, they will perform better. I believe that empowering people with tools, skills, and confidence, they will have the ability to make informed decisions. This is my approach to life and will be my path working with other councillors, town staff, committees, community groups, volunteers, and anyone within Minto when I represent them as a councillor for the next 4 years. With my business, Awesome Interactive in Harrison, Ontario, we've been up in Harrison since 2006. I have 3 core beliefs that guide our business as we move forward. Embrace change to make everything better, make all decisions with the client's best interest first, and challenge everything. Discover why something is to be done. Why is sometimes a very hard question to answer. The answer of because it was always been that way is not sufficient. Why am I hoping to be a member of Minto Council over the next 4 years? That's simple. I love Minto and want to see it grow and thrive. I want to help make Minto a better place for your family and mine. I want to see Minto become a place where businesses big and small, especially the smaller ones, can grow and succeed. My leadership roles within the community include helping form and chair Launch at Minto, a business service center, sitting as a business member on the Town of Minto Economic Development Committee, spearheading the Live to Lead event, which helps teach businesses, organizations, and individuals how to become better leaders. If you're looking for tickets, it's at the Norgan Theatre on the 12th of October. $50, come on out, 9 to 1, outstanding event. I've been facilitating several Lunch and Learn business training programs at Launch It. I have 12 years of active Minto Chamber of Commerce board positions, including Vice President and President. I've been involved this year with the Harrison Downtown Revitalization Committee. One I'm especially proud of was being chair of Savor Minto for 5 years, working with so many volunteers and groups and businesses to highlight the great food and local farms and local chefs we have right here in Minto and surrounding areas. I have greatly enjoyed also being a soccer coach for the past 6 years, and I've operated a business since 2006 here in Minto, and have been running the same business for over 20 years. Through my business, I've made many friends and even more contacts throughout the Minto business community, and want to see our businesses thrive and continue to grow. Those experiences have given me the ability to understand the power of having groups working together on a common goal. The ability to bring people together and have them work together for a common goal, I feel, will serve me well on council. I believe that a strong small business environment creates a strong community base that allows everyone to have higher quality services, exceptional options for shopping, jobs, and family activities. The 5 things I can assure you I will do are, these are the things I've also developed as a soccer coach over the last 6 years. I will listen and learn. I will work together as a team. I will put forth great effort to work on your behalf. I will accept responsibility for my actions and words. And I'm going to enjoy the experience. My goal is to always improve, always embrace change, and work hard to improve everything in the communities that I am involved in. I respectfully ask for your vote for Minto Council for this year's election. Please vote Glenn Hall.
Thank you, Glenn. I'll now call on Scott Marshall.
Thanks, John, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting us this evening. Most importantly, I'd like to thank you, all of you, the local residents and taxpayers, for coming out to hear our 5-minute pitches on why any one of us might deserve to be receiving your vote. Before I get too far, I'd like to share a bit about myself. My wife Margaret, stepson Ben, and myself moved to the town of Minto in the fall of 1999. We spent the first few years living out in the country, rented a farmhouse, before purchasing a condo in Harrison in 2005. I've been a self-employed consultant for the better part of 25 years, working primarily with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. I've been actively involved in all aspects of business planning, development, startup, general management, finance, human resources, marketing, logistics, and more. On the giving side, I've always been drawn towards helping the less fortunate in our society. I've sat on several boards of nonprofit agencies over the years, addressing a variety of needs, including mental health support, independent living and life skills, the chronically unemployed, and for many years was a board member, loans officer, and mentor for a business incubator serving low-income and disabled clients. In recent years, many of my volunteer activities tend to be more personal, one-on-one, and often confidential. Some examples of more visible efforts I've made that somebody might be aware of would be designing the brag book that we won our national award for the 2009 Community and Blooms Award competition, and of course my independent coverage and promotion of all things Harrison during the Big Dig in 2015. Some of you may recall seeing my name on the ballot in the recent provincial election. I ran for the second time representing the 5th largest party in Ontario. The reason I ran provincially really just boils down to principles. I have very strong beliefs what the role of government, any government, should be in our lives, and perhaps more importantly, what it shouldn't be. Politicians of all stripes love to talk about fiscal, social, and environmental responsibility. Of course, these are all very important issues in the political realm, but quite honestly, I'm at a loss to understand why their connection to personal responsibility doesn't seem to get as much ink as it used to. In today's world, we are becoming more dependent and often encouraged to look to government by default for solutions to problems. We hear about transparency, accountability, creating jobs, making investments, and well, you can insert your own buzzword or catchphrase, your favorite catchphrase here. Obviously, transparency and accountability are essential to good governance, and I, for one, believe for the most part we have been doing a very good job here in Minto. But no, government does not create jobs, and no, expanding the role of government or redistributing our precious limited resources to private businesses or special interests shouldn't be exempt from extreme scrutiny or justified by virtuous good feelings. Government has no means of production, so therefore has nothing of its own to invest. Government only survives by the fruit that it extracts from somebody else's property in the first place. The bottom line is your town of Minto is the lowest tier municipal government with a legislated mandate of core responsibilities. We have very little authority or the legislative jurisdiction to change much in the big scheme of things. We only exist as a separate entity at the pleasure of the province, and if you have doubts, you don't need to look any further than the forced amalgamations that took place a couple decades ago. We are small fish in a big pond of sharks and whales. I believe it's absolutely vital that we stick to the basics, ensure we are doing the best possible job delivering the core services the residents and taxpayers expect with the resources we have. One of the greatest challenges in any organization is to avoid getting involved in initiatives that are not part of our mandate, only serve special interests or take on any role that is best left to the free market. Simply put, just because you aren't restricted from doing something doesn't necessarily mean you should. Over the past several years, we've been very fortunate to regularly access funds from other levels of government to assist with expensive and necessary capital projects. The problem is that it's an ongoing process of submitting applications and waiting for a response. Not easy to plan around and definitely not guaranteed. That said, I've looked at the budget and the capital plan for the next 5 years, and thank you. I talked a bit too slow. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. That concludes our candidates for council. And if we could have the candidates for mayor to come forward, please. Colin Terry Fisk first. Thank you.
I too would like to thank the Chamber for hosting the meeting. You people making the effort to come out and hear what we have to say. And hopefully you'll be able to make a decision as to the future of this community. We've just had 7 fine candidates before us. The decision won't be easy as to who the next 5 councillors are. One of the issues that I have with the format of this meeting is that there are no questions allowed, and I will promise you now that if I'm elected mayor, when we have meetings like this, there will be questions asked. I think it's important that the people that take the time and make the effort to come out have the opportunity to ask what's bothering them or what's on their mind. So keep that in mind. As far as what I've done in the past, we have a card that tells you most of that, but I'll just briefly go through it. I was the deputy mayor of the town of Minto from 2010 to 2014. I'm born and raised in Hairston, lived here all my life. I'm practicing veterinary medicine at Hairston Veterinary Services for 43 years. Was a member of North Wellington Healthcare's hospital board for 8 years. Served on the Minto Rural Health Center building committee for 4 years. Charter member of the Chamber of Commerce. Session member at the Knox Calvin Church, Presbyterian Church in Hairston. I'm a past president of Hairston Minor Sports, Hairston Kinsman, K40, Grey Bruce Veterinary Association, and the Branch 296 of the Hairston Legion. I was chairman of the Minto Refugee Settlement Committee that brought a Syrian refugee family to Hairston, a family of 8. And I was also chairman of the Service entrance committee for the IPM, 2016 IPM. And the last item on my, what I've done is I've donated over 100 units of blood to the Canadian Blood Services, and I struggled with whether I should even mention that. And it's the item that I've got the most comments about as far as what my past has been. So I guess that indicates that I care, and if I can help people in need, that's what I want to do. So my platform has been expressed in the Minto Express. It'll also show up in the Wellington Advertiser in the next week or two. And due to time constraints, I'm only going to cover on a couple of things that I think are really important. And number one is the flooding and drainage issue that especially affects Hairston. I can remember 8 years ago when I campaigned for the first time, campaigning in the 3 communities. There was a great deal of, I wouldn't want to say animosity, but that it'll never be Minto. It'll always be Hairston, Clifford, Palmerston, Minto Township. Well, while campaigning this time, I've had people comment about the flooding situation. What are you going to do? And the majority of those have been from residents in Palmerston. So I feel that we've matured as a community. We're caring about one another as the town of Minto rather than the communities of Clifford, Hairston, Palmerston, and Minto Township. And that's encouraging. So I have some plans that I think will help with the flooding situation. I've spent a number of hours with Steve Jackson, who happens to be the engineer for the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority, and I think we can be doing some things east of town in the river flats that would collect the water and then we could release it more slowly. Or the other option that I think in the very near future, our farmers are going to have to be looking at irrigating their crops. So these, what I would call rural stormwater ponds, would have the option of keeping the water as needed if crops require irrigation, and if not, could slowly be released into the Maitland River and flow through Hairston without any major damage. The other aspect of that is drainage, and talking to people in town as well as in the country, there's some concern that the maintenance of our drains and ditches have slipped. Again, it's part of our infrastructure, and as we all know, the country has a major infrastructure deficiency, as we do too. We're no different than anyone else. So I think we need to be looking at that to alleviate the potential for smaller floods within the urban communities, as well as providing the farmers with better opportunities to drain the water away from their land in a timely fashion. Of course, the other thing that keeps coming up on our door-to-door campaign is taxes. It's been alluded to, the fact that we're looking at 18% increase over the next 4 years. I will tell you that our taxes increased this year by 39%. So I'm in tune with tax increases. So I've just been given the card here, so I have a lot of things I want to say yet. So the reason I finally decided that I would run for mayor again was the handling of the dismissal or the resignation of our public works director. The press release indicated that he resigned from the position to take early retirement for health reasons and/or to continue his career closer to family in the Dutton area. Well, and then we find out a few weeks later, when the Sunshine List is released, that he's on the Sunshine List, receiving a salary of $104,000 and hadn't worked for the community for the probably the last 8 months of the year. So I decided then that we needed some change, and we need to have more accountability. and hopefully you'll see fit to support me. As was mentioned, the CAO has handed in his resignation. One of the things that was mentioned was that he is planning on helping John Nader get reelected. I ask you to help me to show our current mayor the exit so he can also help John Nader get reelected. Vote Terry Fisk for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I now call on George Bridge.
Thanks, John. Well, thank you, everybody. And can you hear me at the back? Okay, good. Good evening, and I'd like to thank the Chamber for having this event. And I know the Chamber has decided the format, not the candidates, so I just want to point that out. We would certainly love questions, and if you want to have questions, come to Drew on Thursday night. That's a plug for Drew, although it only holds about 50 people, I think. Anyways, my grandmother and grandfather, father and mother, and many of your parents built a life for us second to none. Thank you to all the builders of this community for their hard work and dedication. Over 2 terms, I am proud to have raised Minto's profile at the regional, provincial, federal levels by advocating for our community in rural Ontario, supporting the Federation of Canadian Municipalities as a board member and chairing the Southwestern Ontario Wardens Economic Development Committee. I'd also like to thank the outgoing council for their service, who along with ratepayers, volunteers, staff, helped grow Minto. Those not running, thanks to Deputy Mayor Faulkner for his leadership in the IPM. I think that was almost going to kill him. His support for the Minto fire and on the key town issues. Councillor Caldwell for her support and financial leadership. She's here tonight. And her keen business sense. You both will be missed. I want to take you back and talk about how the community has changed since 2010. Council took office, my first term as mayor. Then the old post in Harrison and the old Max in Palmerston empty and deteriorating. Both rejuvenated, and new businesses and affordable housing have come through. Then unpredictable childcare services. Now upgraded 54 spaces in the daycare in Palmerston opening October 1st. And a brand new town school after school program that the town is putting together. Then concerns with bad morale and challenging times at the town office. Now, standing ovation for retiring CAO, plan to promote young, local talent at all levels and save costs. Just 4 examples, together we have built a community welcome to business with services residents need, and we had over $100 million in building permits since 2014. You see poor Terry, he's running pretty ragged these days. $40 million invested in infrastructure for safe and secure water, increasing sewage capacity and network of services to support business development. More than $5 million in rural road and culvert projects completed. $14 million in county projects since 2010, major library expansions in Palmerston and Harrison, OPP station in Tivadale, 11 new affordable housing units in Palmerston, new county daycare in Palmerston. Communities in Bloom, National Circle of Excellence, 5 Leaf Silver. Minto Youth Action Council, Gold Designation, Youth-Friendly Community. $84,000 raised for local clubs and organizations in the Mayor's Charity Golf Tournament. That's fine for now, but where do we go in the next 4 years? I propose a 5 clear priorities. Right-sizing Town Hall, attracting more housing and more labor, recreation planning, flood protection, youth. Youth. Council must continue working with our youth to deliver an atmosphere for success. This includes more quality child care, expanding the town's after-school program to Minto Clifford, health and suicide prevention initiatives through Minto Fire, fun recreation programs, and youth joining in decisions-making progress. Council will grow its relationship with the Minto youth and will continue to be the leader in youth-friendly programs so our kids and our grandkids are safe, creative, and happy. Attracting housing and labor in the next 25 years. 1,300 new homes are needed in Minto. That's over 50 a year and 200 by the end of the next council. Strategic investment is needed in water and sewer in all 3 urban areas so developers can open up more land. We have a great track record working with developers, as you can see around these days. We plan ahead. We need affordable housing to bring people here to work. Employers of all kinds need qualified people, and good affordable housing is key to getting more working people here. Recreation planning. The town punches above its weight in parks, facilities, and recreation. We have more than many communities much larger than us. It's a big reason why Minto is attractive to families. We will work with organizations, youth, and community to develop a recreation plan that works for you, so that the town provides the services the community needs and phases out those that are not in demand. Flood protection. June 23rd, 2017, we received a shocking amount of rain in a short time, almost 7 inches in the early morning hours. A 1 in a 100-year storm. Over 100 homes and businesses were affected. Our emergency measures, the units did an excellent job. I really commend the fire department and our PUC on that. The Conservation Authority in town were already working towards improving conditions for 5 years. We nearly emptied the trailer park. We had 2 trailers left, paid for improved rain gauges, and started updating flood maps, last done in the 1980s. Right sizing. There were new people in the town office. You see new faces, and because of 6 parental and illness leaves in the last 2 years, since 2010, staff grew by 3. But we took over our own sewage plant operations and do a lot more provincial reporting than ever before. As mentioned, the province has changed. As the province changes, so can Minto. As mentioned, by 2020, over $400,000 in salaries becomes available due to retirements. That can be redirected in consolidating top jobs so good people take on a bigger role and we can backfill with frontline people costing less. So those are the 5 priorities for the next 4 years. Youth, attracting housing and labor, recreation planning, flood protection, right-sizing town hall. It's a clear mandate we can achieve together, but I need your support. My opponent has not communicated his vision for Minto. It's not good enough just to talk about change or talk about reviewing budgets or talk about flooding. It's not good enough to say to come to me and we'll talk. Frankly, the things he plans to talk about, we've been doing in Minto for 8 years. You can look at every detail of our budgets online. Everything the council sees, you can see. It's over there as well. We got no time for learning curves. We've been doing the work for 8 years together. I will keep the momentum going with you and the new leadership at the town office. Strong, young, local people already on staff with a stake in their community. We plan ahead so Minto continues on its upward path, offering programs right for our residents, business-friendly investments, safe and fun opportunities for our young people, preserving our history and the quality of our life for seniors, growing and building communities so the lives of our children and grandchildren in Minto is just as great as what we had for our generations. Thank you, and I would love to ask for your support.
Thank you, George. So that ends our official part of the meeting. Now, different candidates here said that they would like questions and that. Now is your chance. They're here all the way around the room. Ask them whatever you like, whatever you have a problem with or you're happy with. Now's the time to do it. There'll be coffee and something to eat. You can come out now. I would just like to say one thing on behalf of the Minto Chamber of Commerce. We asked 14 people to come here tonight to speak to you, and all 14 came. This is wonderful. So thank you so much for coming out. It's an important election, and to see so many people involved is wonderful. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Good evening.
The preceding program was brought to you by Whiteman TV,